this in the name of your Son and our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. God is good.
All the time.
All the time.
God is good.
All right, so I probably can't say this enough, but thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for volunteering. This is our first conference in Rochester. It's the first time's always the hardest, and we need your help. As you know, the women's conference last year in Rochester was the first time we had a women's conference in Rochester, and that was a great success. Father Edison Sang was the, I guess, the mentor for that, if you call it that. Everybody can hear me, right? You can't hear me. So he said, now that we have a women's conference, let's kick off the men's conference. Who's gone to the Syracuse Ignite? I can't remember. How about the Buffalo one? Anybody gone to the Buffalo one? So very similar. As you go through this, if you already peeked ahead in the materials, very similar stuff, but we kind of have two themes here. It's put out into the deep as the theme of the conference. The umbrella theme is Exalt Rochester. It's not just the conference. It's part of the evangelization that Pope Francis is trying to do, getting everybody more involved with the church, getting more people coming back to the church. So the conference is a big thing, but it's not the only thing. And of course, we want to make it an annual event. So you're all signed up for the rest of your lives. So as I mentioned, the women's conference was very successful. They sold out. We have the same capacity, 1,000 men is what we're trying for. We're at St. John Fisher, a little bit better venue from a space point of view. Instead of auditorium seating, there's actually going to be tables, kind of round tables. So you're going to sit together, eat together, hopefully praise together. And each table can make its own little community, so to speak. So since the women's was so successful, I'm copying everything I can from them. We're copying everything I can from them. They do things better than us anyway. If there's no women in here, we can say that openly.
But we have to be sold out too.
But we have to be sold out too.
Yeah,
and
can be behind.
One of the biggest things we learned from the women, and on the second slide, is that a strong parish captain presence, effort, energy, whatever you want to say, is really crucial for getting many people. Just putting posters up won't do it. Just putting bulletin announcements won't do it. That'll do some. People see that and say, yeah, I'm going. But it's you guys promoting the conference as we're going through it. And we'll go through ways to do that and how to help you on that, okay? That we aren't just all a bunch of Lone Rangers. So let's just start going through the sheet here. The conference agenda, 7:30 to 8:30 at St. John Fisher's, as I said. Registration, there will be, yes? The agenda is not right. Okay, we have our committee member agenda person here, John, so I took it right off the webpage.
Yeah, that's got to be fixed.
Okay, so check the webpage for the right times. Oh,
And he still may change.
everybody can see this, right? All right, so every pen in hand. 7 to 8 is registration. We'll have breakfast from 7 to 7:45. Got to be careful with eating because Mass starts at 8 with the bishop. Got to fast for an hour before Mass. 8, yes, 8 o'clock Mass. It'll probably be 8 to 9:30 for Mass, an hour and a half, because we have 1,000 men to go to communion, to get the Eucharist, and of course, if the bishop gets on a roll, I'm not going to stop him. All right. Right after Mass, we'll have a break, 9:30 to 10. We're going to have vendors. There'll be a lot of Catholic vendors there, so you can visit them during the breaks or anytime you want. I mean, it's like you're glued to your seat and the speakers are there. From 10 to 11 is our first speaker. Do we have the order of the speakers? Yeah?
Yeah. Tim Staples.
Do we have the order?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Tim Staples will be first. And at 10 o'clock, confessions begin. Confessions go from 10 to 3. I know I have that right on the agenda. Correct on the agenda. Here's the start. Then 11 to 11:30 after Tim, we'll have another break. 11:30 to 12:30, which speaker?
Hector Molina.
Hector will be second. Okay, thank you. 12:30 to 2, a nice long lunch break. Okay, we have a really good menu for you. I don't have the details off the top of my head right now. We can share that later, but it's been good food. And again, you go to where we are at St. John Fisher is one of the athletic venues. It's four or five basketball courts. We take up 2/3 of it. All the food will be in the back. You go and you train, go and get your food. These people know what they're doing. They can handle 1,000 people and come back to your table. Okay. 2 o'clock is the last speaker, Danny Abramowitz. If you're not familiar with him, he used to be a wide receiver with the New Orleans Saints. We had a committee meeting at the Abbey at the Genesee in December, and we had him on a conference call in the morning. And, you know, he was, the energy coming from this guy through the phone or wherever he was, not in our zone, was just phenomenal. So I'm really excited about these speakers. And he's on EWTN. He's got a great book that I read, Crossing the Goal, I think. Crossing the Goal, yeah. Of course, you know, if you heard Tim Staples on Catholic Answers Live, if you listen to that at all, he's really good. I'm not familiar with Hector Molina, but I'm looking forward to him too. Okay, after Danny Abramowitz from 2 to 3, 3 to 3:30 is a break. 3:30 to 4:10, a panel discussion with the speakers. That's going to be exciting. I didn't know we were doing that. 4:15 to 4:50, benediction and adoration. 4:50 to 4:55 will be some closing remarks, and we'll be in a closing prayer, and we'll be out of there at 5. So we'll get the. I don't know, Dan, here, you go update the website right now. Okay, and I'll correct this. And all these materials will also be on the website. If you need another copy or recruit somebody and they want to get something, so I'll fix this and get on the website. Speaking of the website, here's our cover page. At the top is the exaltrochester.org. That's the name of it. It's also in the package later on, so you don't have to write it down right now. And you can see, as I was saying, this is the Exalt webpage. The main focus is on the conference. To get to the conference stuff, you go to the bottom left-hand button where it says First Annual Men's Conference. But there's also other things for you to try to get the entire, getting men involved in other things, discipleship. A lot of other materials are there for your use. Okay, so let's go to what your job is. Yes, Dan?
Could I just say one thing about that homepage? Hi, I'm Dan Pilsdorf, and I work with Dave Macri, who's the head of the website committee. We have on the bottom left, I believe it is on that page, it says subscribe. It's a really good way to keep up to date with what's going on when we put news posts out there. So I would strongly recommend every parish captain that's here, anybody who's here really, subscribe to that. You'll be asked to confirm the email subscription, and then any news posts that we put out on that website, you'll be notified of.
Great. All right. Thank you, Dan. All right, captain duties. Hopefully you've all seen this in the email that was sent out to your pastors, or if I know I sent this out. I'll be honest with you, I forget what I sent out. There's also so much coming back, and I try to save everything, and then I miss some picture, so the volume of stuff can kind of be a bit overwhelming. So promoting the conference, that's kind of the job one, so to speak. If you're good at sales, great. If you're not good at sales, let the Holy Spirit guide you. Okay. Personally, I'm an engineer. I have 2 engineering degrees. There's a reason I'm not in sales. But for something like this, I'm going to step out of my comfort zone, so to speak. Okay, attend the training section again. Thank you very much. This is the last time, first and only time I expect all of us to be together, so I'm not going to be asking for any more of your time during your free time. That's what email's for. My phone number and Jose's phone number and our emails are in one of the packages you have. Call us anytime, contact us anytime. Ensure the informational postcards. Now, our marketing guy on our committee is supposed to be here. We have 500 posters and 10,000 postcards that I'm hoping are going to be here so I don't have to try to mail them to everybody. Quick segue. Mark asked who else is working on this if I'm running the conference. Oh, God. Oh, no, this is enough for me here. Dan stood up. He's on the web committee. Tom Huber's here on the music committee. Bob's here for, what are you doing about the venue, right? Speakers. So you got the speakers, that's why you won't be speaking. We have a chairman, a vice chairman, we have marketing, hopefully Kevin's going to show up for that. Mark Peterson is trying to raise money besides just the tickets, for instance. We're trying to, we'll talk about soliciting donations later with the sponsor sheets. We have probably about 20 or 25 guys working on the committee. And we meet once a month. Oh, Bob, sorry. You're in the liturgy committee, right? Yeah. Forgive me for anybody else who I've seen the sea of faces here. So it's more than just me. And I guess for an early plug, if we're going to do this again next year, if the Holy Spirit really moves yet, talk to us. We can use all the help we can. And Deacon Mike is guiding us, making sure I'm straight and narrow too. All right. Ensure there's going to be 3x5 postcards that come out that have the speakers, the date, the times, and that's what's, we want to be handing those out. If anybody here, who else is a Cursiista here? Okay, so if you've ever heard of Cursia's Weekends, we have an all-men's retreat weekend. And whenever a men's weekend is planned, we're sweating because we have 3 people signed up like 2 weeks before. And with guys planned, we get 30 guys at the last second. So if you can kind of envision a line chart, I'm kind of expecting after May 1st in the last 2 weeks, we're probably going to get like most of our sign-ups. But that's what the cards are for. Keep reminding them, keep reminding them, keep reminding them. And of course, the next one is display the posters somewhere. Give pulpit announcements. We're asking for 2 Sundays. I was talking with somebody before. Another big theme we're going to have here is you got to check with every pastor for everything. Because some pastors really don't want anybody doing pulpit announcements. You could ask them to do it. We're going to talk about having a table so people can get the materials and come and see it. If you can't do that, you only can do what you can. I understand that. And certainly Jose and I are not going to be coming around checking everybody. That's what you guys are for. You are our hands and feet. Yes, Bob?
Do we have flyers?
Do we have flyers? No, we don't have flyers. So the next one is...
Another version of the poster that we can turn into a flyer?
That's what the postcards... A lot of the information is very common.
Usually we do inserts into the bulletin.
You're welcome to do that.
Which means we need a smaller.
Yeah. Actually, so we'll talk about bulletins in a minute, okay?
Yeah, you know why pastors don't want announcements?
Do I know why pastors don't want announcements?
Some of the reason, I just wonder if there's a mechanism, a strategy you can use to overcome that.
I think my pastor is a problem. Wasn't there a problem with doing that? Can anybody help us on reason, perhaps, on why they know why their pastor?
Sometimes pastors will look at events from outside of the parish as competitive with their vision of what should go on in the parish. And in that vein, if they open the door to one person, not, let's say, on staff, and generate things from within the staff mission, then they have to open the door to everybody. And so there are some things that they would choose not to allow to be promoted in the parish, and therefore they keep the door narrow. That's an idea. I don't know if I'm right. That's my speculation.
Okay, that's a good point, because this can enable any parish to bring more people who are evangelizing, more people into potential.
We're trying, yes. Men's involvement
You
is...
tell the pastor that this will increase
Well, that's...
people on the pews.
That's up, yeah, that too. Well, there's part of a sales job, Joe, that you're just saying for us.
I'm trying to think of all the strategies that might work.
Yes. Kevin?
The bishop's letter is very strong.
We'll
Should
get
we-
we'll get through that, we'll get through that, yeah. Okay, thanks, thanks. Yeah, as much as I tried to plan what the flow was gonna be, you kind of see, a thought comes in and I'm not talking about it. Another reason why I'm not a public speaker.
You're doing great.
Thank
You might have a new career.
Yeah, I can hope for that. Okay, the other thing we're saying, as you see next, is to set up if you can, set up a table in the narthex, in the parish hall somewhere. Maybe put the poster onto a foam core board so you can set it up, frame the bishop's letter, that sort of thing. And that's where, after a couple of masses, we're asking you to say if an announcement can be made. If you can't make it, whoever does the regular announcements, write the script for them to say something. And then, Joe will be out there in the narthex after mass if you have more questions. Just standing there and that sort of thing can just draw people too. I was thinking, as much as we want the men to be coming to the table, I suspect we're going to get a lot of women coming to the table too, saying, I want my husband to go to this. So that's great too. We'll take any way we can. We'll get through more about registration in a little bit.
Keith,
Yes?
it occurred to me, keep an eye, because the women's are going to be doing this now in most of the parishes. So you can get ideas. You probably can meet the women's parish captain for your parish. So that may be an opportunity to learn what they're doing, piggyback on anything that they're doing. And I'm sure they'll be more than happy to help you once their conference is done after March 28th. So take an opportunity to look. I can tell you right now, they'll be setting up a table with flowers, with very nice table,
Gift baskets.
all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
We're not looking for that, but, just be prepared.
Here's an idea. Buy your spouse, male or female, for Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Pay for the conference.
That's a great idea.
Or Mother's Day and Father's Day, too. That's actually in the focus group. The last bullet is to assist the men in registering. It's not your job to take their name and their credit card number and go to sign online, or also in your package, everybody has five registration forms. They're men, they're big boys, they can register themselves, okay? We'll talk about that a little bit more. So, it's promotion, enabling men to do it, being creative. Valentine's Day is a great idea. Being creative. Yeah, Mike?
Do you have provision for people who can't afford to go to get to go to the conference somehow?
Great question. We are taking donations for scholarships, and the process we'd like to have is if they can't afford, if they say, I really can't afford it, talk to your pastor. Sometimes the churches will fund or will sponsor people for that. If that doesn't work, take their name, and as a committee, we'll see what we have from our funds. From a finance point of view, we're starting with zero money to start this. And whatever profit we have, whatever's left over this year will seed next year's conference. But we don't have last year's conference to seed it, so we can't promise scholarships right now. Great question. Yes, ma'am.
We make that known off the top, or should?
I think if they ask, if somebody asks you, I can't really afford it.
Because we right now don't have the funds, we don't want to advertise we're going to do scholarships.
Fine.
Right.
So,
Right. Now, that may change. May come middle of April, some benefactor gives us a boatload of money, we decide to do scholarships, you'll find out. That's how we'll communicate to you. And then we'll also, I'm jumping ahead of myself. All right. So let's go through the overall schedule. Starting early next month, bulletin announcements. What we're proposing to do is Jose and I will handle the bulletin announcements through the diocese, so everybody will kind of get the same one. The advantage to that is for all the parishes that don't have a parish captain, or maybe a third of the parishes, I think, for the entire diocese, they'll get the bulletin announcements. The downside is it's one size fits all. I can't say in Joe's parish, go see Joe DePaul, because I can't do that because it's going to be coming out. Or see Will. Okay. So, and I don't know, I haven't talked to Paul Mandalera?
Doug.
Doug Mandalera. He's the one that can send that out. There's no way of getting a customized bulletin announcement planning on doing it starting in early February, every week until the conference. Not once a month, but it's kind of like, you know, nobody can say, I didn't see it. You picked up one bulb in February, March, April, and beginning of May, you should see it, okay?
Keith, are you sending those to the captains or to the parish?
The Lord to the parish.
Parish.
Now, right. In your checklist, later on, we're going to say, please make sure.
We can add customized information to what the parish secretaries get before it goes into.
Okay, it's all a matter of timing for that then. Okay, so when the checklist, we'll talk more about that, okay? I put Palm Sunday, Holy Week, and Easter in there, just because that's something we have to be aware of as we're doing things. The women's conference, I forgot to put that in here, is March 28th, so it's actually the day before Palm Sunday. Oh, I didn't put it in order, sorry. I do have it in there. Let me fix that. Thank you. You guys are paying attention, thanks. Okay, the Buffalo and Syracuse, I'm sorry. First pulpit announcement, we're recommending to do in the middle of March. Just because one in March, one in April, and you're working on it. The timing isn't cast in stone. If something works out better where you see where it's going one way or the other. We go too much further, we don't want to do it during Holy Week, certainly. It's probably frowned upon. So that's what we're recommending. The timing is yours, okay? The men's conferences in Buffalo and Syracuse, I put there for reference. Women's conference. Second pulpit announcement, okay, in April. Then our conference, and then of course, if you do have a table, please don't forget to take it down with the posters and taking the pamphlets out of wherever you have your pamphlets and stuff like that. Okay, it's just maybe I put this on there because it's something bugging me. Out of date stuff in those things just bugging me. Okay, and anything you take out, you put in your scrapbook or whatever you want to do. We don't want it back. Right? All right, let's go through the promotional materials you do have and what to do with them. So posters, there's a lot of stuff here, but we've all seen posters. Put them where you can. Certainly in your parish, if you have a school, wherever people congregate. I mean, I put in the men's and the women's room. People congregate there. There used to be, in the olden days, the water cooler. Where's the place that people go? Is it at work? I put things up around the microwave because that's where people go and eat up a lot of their lunches now. They just stand there for 2 minutes, give them something to read. All right. Of course, check with your parish office on guidelines. Don't want to have any kind of ill will ever fostered because we're just doing stuff and for some reason your pastor just doesn't want to do something. Then there's other community areas, libraries, and playgrounds, the gym, colleges, etc. Again, being a Christian post or Christian activity, sometimes you can't put it into secular places. So just got to check on things like that. All right. Save the date cards. I'm really hoping Kevin gets here. Is here? Pulled up. Oh, he just pulled up. I was probably trying to unload everything. Oh, yeah, I see a van right next to the door there. Yeah. So we'll be handing those out. That's the reason I asked, what's your weekly attendance? I've got one, I forgot what church it was. I think they said like 160 people per week, and then some clusters of 2,000 people. I was kind of thinking, take about half of what your attendance is, give or take. It'd be great if you could hand them out to the men, but always keep some with you. Put them in the pamphlet area, stuff like that. Put them on your table and things like that. Hopefully it's small enough people will take them home and stick them right in the refrigerator. Anybody with kids with stuff on the refrigerator. And I'm hoping if you need more, we'll get more to you. Okay? I don't want to be stingy with these, and I want to use them also. Them sitting in my garage aren't going to help promote the conference. Give them out to parish leaders. Give a bunch of them out to parish leaders. If you're talking to somebody and they're really turned on by the conference, yeah, I'm going. I can't wait for it. Give them 3 or 4 and say, hey, great, invite your friends. Here's cards that you can hand out also. So spread the love with, you don't have to do everything yourself. We have somebody working on that also, and the Catholic Church. Back right there, man back there. Hi, Kevin. Here's our marketing guy.
Like Keith said, yeah, don't be stingy with the cards, but we also, we ordered 10,000 cards, and we are on a budget as well, so don't just, actually, don't put it on your refrigerator, okay? Just give it to a person, right? It's like you go in your fridge.
Not your refrigerator.
Yeah, not your refrigerator. So, another person's fridge. So, don't just take like 1,000 cards and just, have a big stack and not do anything with them. If you do take more than you actually need, and you are able to get them back to us, please do, and then we'll get them out to other people that might need them. We did order 10,000, and budgeting, Keith, I don't know how that works, but if we have to order more, hopefully we'll be able to.
Yeah. And I'm not, thanks.
Yeah.
How many can you take in the conference? How many seats are there?
It's until 1,000 seats. We're going to go until we're full. So, Holy Trinity takes 990 of them. We're full.
Okay. Don't count us.
Yes, Bob.
I just want to address what this fellow said. Last year, my wife was involved in women's conference. Last year, they're capped at 850 at Aquinas, and they sold out 3 weeks before. So they probably turned 150.
They return checks.
Yeah.
They return checks.
So, and it was all because of the parish taxes.
You asked us to bring the number of attendees.
Right.
Are you going to use that to calculate maybe a percentage of how many?
Yeah, I think you're out helping Kevin. I said probably take about half is what I'm thinking. And again, if you need more, we're local. We can just arrange to get it dropped off somehow in some way. All right, Jose and I will do that sort of stuff. All right. Sample pulpit announcements. What I wrote down is something that I'm comfortable saying. So if you read through it, I say, men, I want to talk to you. Discern to come. And I say, women, I want to talk to women. I heard in other parishes that people live in that, but not here. Tune it so that you feel what you feel comfortable talking about. If you can't do it, you certainly have to skinny it down. If somebody on staff is the only person who can do announcements. The important thing is, on the 2 announcement weekends you're going to do, you can be there for questions afterwards, whether it's in a hall like this that isn't right on the church or right outside the church. You may have a great weekend in April where it's 80 degrees. Maybe it is outside if you have that kind of space in your church. That'd be great. So it's really, the main points. Figure out what the main points that you want to get across. Date certainly. I wouldn't do cost. I just like talking money from the pulpit personally. Date. We have 3 national speakers. And Bob, you inspired me for this, Bob. When a bunch of men get together to do something with a single person, single purpose, especially when the Holy Spirit's involved, I get all choked up. I don't know about you, but great things happen. All right, to help you with other things is the bishop's letter of support. So if your pastor is going to kind of, wiggling a little bit, I don't like doing this, say, well, we're being sponsored,